We spend so much of our lives building the second version of ourselves online. It's a huge collection of our memories, our conversations, our assets. But have you ever stopped to think about what happens to that digital person when the real you is gone? It's a question we all really need to start asking. Yeah, I know, it's a pretty jarring question, but it's one we can't ignore. See, most of us just assume our families can kind of take over, right? But the reality is, it's way more complicated than that. Those digital doors we walk through every single day, they can slam shut and they can be locked forever, sealing away not just data, but our entire legacies.
And this invisible estate has gotten absolutely massive. We're not just talking about a few old emails and photos anymore. Think about the real, tangible value here. Online bank accounts, PayPal balances, crypto, maybe even an online business you run. And then there's the stuff that's truly priceless. A whole lifetime of photos and videos just sitting in the cloud, completely out of reach for the very people who would cherish them the most.
So why can't your family just get into this stuff? It seems simple enough. Well, unlike a box of old letters in the attic, your digital life is guarded by some seriously powerful gatekeepers, and that creates a huge problem for your loved ones.
Okay, this is where the biggest misconception is. We all think a will is some kind of master key, and that handing over a password is like giving someone an invitation. But legally, that's just not how it works. The service providers, we're talking Google, Apple, Meta, you name it, they are bound by contracts and federal laws that can actually override whatever you put in your will. This leaves families stuck in this painful, frustrating state of digital limbo.
I want you to think of it like there are 3 different locks on a single door. First up, you've got the terms of service. That thing you clicked agree on without reading. It usually says only you can use the account. Second, there are big federal privacy laws like the Stored Communications Act, which actually stop companies from just handing over your data, even to your own family. And then there's the third lock, anti-hacking laws, which could technically, and this is crazy, make your own executor a criminal just for logging into your accounts.
And if you think I'm being dramatic, check this out. This quote from legal experts lays it out in black and white. Even with your permission, even with the best intentions in the world, just using your password after you're gone could be seen as a federal crime. That's the legal minefield your family would have to try and navigate. It's a nightmare.
So the situation seems pretty bleak, right? How do we fix this? How do we give our families a safe and, more importantly, legal way to manage our digital legacy? Well, thankfully, a new legal framework was designed to do exactly that.
It's called the Revised Uniform Fiduciary Access to Digital Assets Act. Yeah, it's a mouthful. Let's just call it RUFADA for short. Or better yet, let's call it what it is, the legal master key. What it does is simple. It gives your chosen representative, your fiduciary, the clear legal right to talk to the tech companies, and it gives those companies the legal permission they need to cooperate without breaking any privacy laws.
And look, this isn't just some random, obscure law that no one's heard of. It has major support from the industry itself. Companies like Google are actually big fans of this framework because it finally creates a clear, predictable way to balance the needs of your family with your right to privacy. It gives everyone the clarity they were desperately missing. But here's the most powerful part of this whole thing. The real game changer is that this new law puts you back in the driver's seat. It creates a very clear hierarchy for your instructions, making sure that your wishes are the ones that get followed.
This right here is the absolute core of how it all works, so this is really important. This legal framework sets up a 3-tier system. Think of it like a pyramid. At the very top, the most powerful instruction you can give is through the online tools that platforms provide themselves. If you haven't used those, then the law looks down to the next tier, your legal documents, like your will. And only if you've done neither of those things do the platform's default terms of service rules at the very bottom kick in.
So what does all that boil down to? It's actually pretty simple. Your direct instructions, whether you set them in an online tool or in your will, now have the power to override a platform's generic, one-size-fits-all policy. You get to decide what happens, not the company, period.
Okay, so that's the theory. But how do you actually turn this into a practical plan for yourself? Because knowing the rules is one thing, but putting them into action is what really matters. So here's a simple 3-step playbook for you to follow. First things first, you need a map. You've got to create an inventory of your digital life. This is basically the roadmap for your executor. List out every single account, from your email to your crypto wallet. Now, this is critical. Do not put the actual passwords in your will, because wills often become public documents. Instead, just note where to find them, like in a specific password manager.
And then, for each account, clearly state your wishes. Save it, pass it on, or just delete it.
Okay, next, you need to use those really powerful Tier 1 online tools we were just talking about. For example, with Apple, you can go into your settings right now and designate a legacy contact. They will get a special access key to your iCloud data after you're gone. And over at Google, you can set up their inactive account manager. This lets you decide exactly what happens after your account has been dormant for a while. You can have it automatically notify trusted people and even share specific files with them. Seriously, just doing these two things solves a huge piece of the puzzle.
Now for Tier 2. You need to work with a professional to update your will or trust. You want to add specific language that appoints a digital executor. This is the person who is officially, legally granted the authority, backed by that master key law we talked about, to deal with the tech companies and manage all of your digital property. This gives them the legal muscle they need to actually carry out your plan.
And finally, the step that ties this all together, and honestly, it might be the most important one. You have to communicate. A perfect plan is completely useless if nobody knows it exists. You have to tell your executor about your digital inventory, tell them where to find it securely, and just talk to them about what your wishes are. This conversation is absolutely crucial, and it will provide so much peace of mind, both for you and for them.
At the end of the day, all of these accounts, these photos, these messages, they're the building blocks of your digital story. So planning for your digital afterlife isn't just some boring technical task. It's really about choosing who gets to be the final editor, the person who becomes the steward of your legacy. So who will you choose?